Good afternoon, supporters, Venice relatives, old, recent, and new. My name is Mike Bravo. I'm one of the co-founders of Save Venice, the group that's been holding down this space here for the last 3 years. I'll be really quick too. We've done a lot of memorials over the last 5 years since Brendan's passing in 2015, along with other unhoused relatives like Jason Davis and Shakespeare, among others. And it's always an extra special honor when we have the family members able to join us. 'Cause a lot of times they're out of town or for whatever reason they can't make it too. So it's my honor to introduce Brendan's cousin, Grace. Thank you.
Wow.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here today. As Mike said, most of these families, people who have experienced homelessness who are killed by cops, unfortunately are not here. My family is from upstate New York, so this is the first time that anyone from my family has been able to speak about this here, so thank you so much for just giving me this. So I just want to start out with some questions, okay? So who here has a little sister? Who here grew up with a little sister? Okay. Who here was in a wedding growing up? Who was like a ring bearer in a wedding or in a wedding? Weddings are great, very fun. Congratulations. Who here was spoiled by their grandparents? Who had a grandparent who spoiled them, got them everything they wanted? Who here was a high school athlete? Who was an athlete in high school? Nice. Any skiers? Anyone who was a skier? All right, we got a couple skiers. Okay. Who here graduated high school? Who has a GED? Who graduated high school? Congratulations, class of 2020 as well. Who here has a son? Who here has the privilege of raising a child, being a parent to someone? Who here's ever been unemployed? Yeah, pandemic. Now is the time. Who here has ever experienced homelessness? Now, I want to define experiencing homelessness before you raise your hands because people get confused about this pretty often. So having experienced homelessness means that you have lived without a permanent residence. This includes couch surfing, living in your car, living in a night-to-night shelter, anything that is not a permanent residence. So who here has experienced homelessness? Who here has a family that they know loves them and a mom they know loves them? Who here is 29 years old? Who here is a Black American? These are all things you have in common with my cousin Brendan Glenn the day he was killed by an LAPD officer. These are all things you have in common with my cousin Brendan Glenn, who was murdered by an LAPD officer. Now, I could talk about his case. I could talk about how the chief of police said in 3 different press conferences that this was a homicide, and how Jackie Lacey stood in the way of justice, and that she is the reason that so many families, at least 608 other families, have never gotten justice for the killings and the brutality that they have experienced.
Fuck Jackie Lacey.
Yeah, fuck Jackie Lacey. Seriously, God. But what I really want to talk about is how he lived. And I want you to understand how Brendan lived and who he was. Because when we say their names, we don't mean that you watch the video of them dying, that you watch life leave their eyes, you watch them screaming out to their mother in these vulnerable moments. We mean that you understand that they were alive and living like you. They had dreams like you. They had kids like you. They had parents like you. They went to school like you. These are human beings like you. And we use the terms when Brendan was killed, they used terms like black homeless man, never using his name. And that was all to dehumanize him, to make it seem like because he was black and because he was experiencing homelessness in that time, his life was forgotten and not as important as someone else's.
Right. Shame.
So that is why we say their name. Because people will not be diminished to BuzzFeed articles and clickbait and taglines. These are human beings.
Right.
So, say his name.
Brendan Blair.
Say his name.
Brendan Blair.
Thank you guys so much.